Alrighty, it's cracking YouTube. Matty here. Thought we'd maybe do a channel update today since my 6S Ascender run has been cut short. Now I'm out here in the pit because the pit is about to get some council work done to it. I don't exactly know which areas in here are going to be affected. I can't find any sort of markings out in this area where I'm in now. Hopefully it's just only up at that top bit, who knows. But right, so out here, wanted to get a 6S run in, done myself a little mischief. I'll come around, I got to be careful, the rocks are really slippery out here. That's why I put my old school 2.2 flat irons with the M3 compound. They're sweet in the wet. But yeah, I've done myself a mischief. Finally killed a Yeah Racing Uni or CVD in there. I'm not at all upset about that. I do have brand new Vaterra ones at home ready to go. The Yeah Racing ones, they're the cheapest ones you could get. You also lose a few degrees of steering. Alright, so take that in mind. If you go the Yeah Racing ones, you will lose steering. You just put a stock one next to one and turn them to maximum point, and you noticeably see the loss in degrees there from the Yeah Racing, putting the Yeah Racing on compared to the stock Vaterra ones. Alright, so that's out of the way. Alright, well, and the winch just stopped working. The winch has just stopped working, which is a little bit frustrating. I didn't pay anything for the winch. It was a freebie on the bull bar, so I guess I'll have to invest in another one potentially. I will have a little gander at it. Righto, so get your time in here while you can. Crawl, guys. We don't know what's going to happen to it down here. This is the spillway at Kawongba. Just look for the Scouts Den and you'll find this spot. No worries. Alright, enough crawling. Let us go home and I'll tell you what else has been crappening. Alrighty, so we're back home, YouTube, back to my mess here. I'm a bit disappointed on that trail. I was really itching for it this morning. Oh well. Had some fun at the end there doing 3-wheel drive slow-mo shots. That amused me for a little while. Smashing my phone up with rocks. But I don't really recommend you blast your phone with rocks, but if you want to do it, it does look awesome. So you get the thumbs up from me for trying. Anyway, so what's out here? I'm just waiting for paddocks to dry a bit more. Take my daughter's Hyper7 Hypercast back out for a run. This thing's badass. I did break my first knuckle in their last run due to these redonkulous hex extenders. I've never broke one of these on a hobo before, but I broke my first one. So the deal is the next one I break, then the hex hubs come off and she's got to go back to stock wheels. I've got there's a 4S pack in there and like an 18 tooth pinion, so it'd be plenty for a 9-year-old. That thing is cool. Right, next. Alrighty, YouTube, here we go, drift cars. This doesn't happen often because I don't normally talk about my drift cars. I had said to someone through comments I would be doing another RMX video. I will, I just want it where I want it, if that makes any sense. I'm still fiddling on and off, blah, blah, blah. I've got a different motor coming for it. We're getting rid of the Trackstar Special there, Trackstar Modified 9.5 turn. It's okay. It has its limitations via being censored. I find it's just the response isn't there for me. It'll just sort of glitch out. Is it because of my ESC? I don't know. I'm not prepared to get rid of this ESC. This is a Reventon Pro 140 amp ESC by Speed Passion. I've got a 6.5 turn, forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Docchio can competition spec can coming for it. Now, if any of you guys are keen on that sort of motor, RC Mart right now have those cans. They reckon it's $90 off. I paid $38 Australian for this 6.5 ton censored can, and then $10 Australian postage. So I got it for less than $50 Australian posted for what's going to go in here. Once that's in there, I'm pretty comfortable with how I've set everything else up for me. That is, I drive on tiles. All right, so how I drift my vehicle, well, how I set my vehicles up for drift is on tiles in the house. I don't have a track near me. I'm not driving to the other side of town to go play on a track. It just doesn't float my boat. I will play at home by myself and skid the crap out of the kitchen and upset the missus, leaving black lines all over the tiles. That's what I like to do with my drift cars. Right, so we'll get back to these. I will show you while we're here. So FSX-D, that's full steer, okay? Full steer. We're going to go to the FXX-D. So the FXX-D is the rear-wheel drive version of this guy. It's just come rear-wheel drive, and I've picked the IFS, so independent front suspension. Look at this. Watch out, MST. Traxxas are going to be after you for this. This looks exactly like an e-Revo. I just had to add that. It really does. MST, watch out. Watch out, guys. And we'll go back over here to the RMX. Now, this is a dedicated rear-wheel drive chassis. It was never an FSX, and then they go, no, we'll make it rear-wheel drive only. This has been built from the ground up as rear-wheel drive. And that's your steering there, guys. It's awesome. Out of all three on the bench here, what would be my favourite to drive? Well, I haven't drove this one, and I dare say that will be cool to drive. I have drove this one, and it's very different to this one, but I'm used to this one, so I like my RMX 2.0S the best at the moment. I feel my RMX may do better in bigger drifts. Well, it does inside with very next to no grip. Well, there is no grip at all on the tiles. This guy seems to be a bit better at smaller, tighter drifting. For me, like, I can really get my nose up close to that kitchen bench as I'm cutting it sick sideways past the rubbish bins, and then I got to navigate and not smash into the fridge. It's a lot of fun. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, YouTube, we just dropped the phone. We might just have to cut to the next part of this video now. Alrighty, so I've broken my diff housing on the Pro Mt. That's why it's not being driven at the moment. I do have a spare one there. Thank you very much, Thomas. But I'm reluctant to pull a servo out of another vehicle to fit it in here when this shit with that clip just keeps happening at the back. It's driving me bananas. My biggest grievance with the Pro Mt is this design to hold the rear bearing and the front bearing in. There's one on each side. You got to buy a whole set of diff gears just to get not one but two of these clips. That's the first one I've had to use. I'm not even close to needing to use the diff gears. And by the time I do need to use the diff gears, I won't have any clips left. I'm really annoyed with it. So it's in the naughty corner at the moment because, well, just over the clip. I'm over the fact I can't obtain clips in packets of maybe 1,000 because of how often they pop out. But whatevs. Alrighty, so got my throwing of my RCs out of the system just in time for the Gom. I can confidently say if I threw the Gom across the garage, it will break. It will break. Why don't we see my Gom here, and why is it in pieces now? So we don't see the Gom anymore because 3 hours in, baby driving. I'm talking next to no throttle. I haven't put a 11-tooth pinion on it. I went down in gearing. Just baby. Just baby. And just couldn't handle it. Stripped the front locker out because it's cheap metal. So I honestly thought the shift setup would break before a diff or whatever. I was very hesitant when I put the diffs in the kit, seeing them like this, and yeah, it's broke 3 hours in. So I've never had failure like this on any of my crawlers until now. I'm just not gonna. It's not for me. I like the look of it. I really did like the look of it, and that's what pushed me over the edge of buying it. When it comes down to performance or something like that, I've had a Bomber and I've had a Wraith before. My Bomber was getting up things in the pit this guy was struggling to get up. Okay, there's a lot of weight there. I mean, if the gears could handle it, theoretically, uphill racing, you know, like it should pull itself up. Am I going to recommend using it for like steep uphill climbs and that, you know, with no traction? No, I'm not, because you're just going to hurt this. And I wasn't even doing that and I hurt it. So unfortunately, the Gom gets the thumbs down from me. Not my cup of tea. What are we going to do with it? I don't know. I'm still looking for work at the moment, so I can't put it back together. I don't have the money there. Might hit RCA or Gmade up with a warranty, perhaps. It's on the cards anyway. Righto, guys. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'm going to catch up with you guys again soon. Yeah, take it easy, everyone. Matty out for RC Anonymous.